Call it what is happening in Hollywood. Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand.
I just said, Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking.
A filed lawsuit accuses Tyler Perry of disrespecting an actor on one of the filmmaker's shows. Actor Derek Dixon has sued Perry for $260 million.
$3 grand in my bank account. Who they gonna believe? Right? I got that $3 grand.
But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation?
Perry's name was in the news recently once more, in court this time. However, Terrence Howard and Cat Williams have been alerting us for years.
Not to mention the world, who has mixed feelings about and the morality of it, and whether it's something that should be applauded or whether it's something.
They were exposing dubious transactions, unfulfilled promises, and what they claim is a highly poisonous culture that lies underneath Perry's well-preserved persona long before the cases were filed.
It comes to me that you could be a famous entertainer and make billions and billions of dollars, but the one thing you can't do is the other.
Why is the business only now catching up? And what precisely did they reveal? Let we begin. According to reports, Tyler Perry may be dealing with some new turmoil, this time involving Cat and Terrence Howard. Rumor has it that they are getting ready to reveal some really serious information concerning Tyler. What is it that is energizing them? The representation of black males in gowns in the entertainment industry appears to be the root of the entire problem. Terrence is not merely a spectator here either. He says he has also been a victim of it. Apparently, he's on a mission to call out what he sees as Hollywood's push to emasculate black men, and he's pointing fingers right at Tyler Perry for leading that trend.
The people that want that, our entire world economy is based off of the politicians.
There are rumors that Terrence is fed up with the industry's incessant promotion of roles that subvert conventional notions of masculinity. Hollywood has slammed him with the challenge of working with labels simply because he declined to wear a frock for a job, and he is not holding back either. But it is not just about him. Following in the footsteps of well-known figures like Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams, Terrence is speaking out about what he perceives to be a larger problem in Hollywood. While some may dismiss this as another Hollywood rumor, Terrence is refusing to back down.
Call it what is happening in Hollywood. Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand.
The rumors say that because he declined a position that would have required him to wear a frock, Hollywood smacked him with the challenge of working with labels. He is obviously angry, and rumors have it that he is even thinking about giving up acting completely because he believes the business has excluded him and is promoting an agenda that he finds intolerable. Now, if you have been listening, you have undoubtedly heard Cat Williams recently bring up the topic of Hollywood dresses once more, claiming that there is a purported plot to get black performers into dresses in order to achieve mainstream popularity. According to the rumors, Terrence Howard may be among the performers who were fired for refusing the attire.
They put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career. I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress.
Terrence has undoubtedly garnered media attention for both his personal issues and his acting. Not to mention that the man is incredibly talented. Terrence Howard revealed that he previously declined the opportunity to play Smokey Robinson in a biopic during an appearance on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. He described it as one of his greatest regrets, but he gave an explanation. He was already discussing playing Marvin Gaye in another biopic with Lee Daniels at the time. Oddly enough, he also turned that role down. After learning more about the Marvin Gaye project, he felt uneasy about continuing. Howard claimed that he withdrew due to speculations regarding Marvin Gaye. In a particularly forceful remark, he stated that he would rather cut his lips off than kiss a man on television. He also mentioned a chat he had with Quincy Jones during the initial discussions for the Marvin Gaye movie while speaking with Maher.
I'm not dropping names, I'm just giving credibility to what I'm saying about what
never dropping it.
That Marvin was gay. And Marvin was gay. And I'm like, was he gay? And Quincy's like, yes.
Oh.
He went around.
Howard also disclosed that he was not comfortable with the filmmaker's desire to explore the suspicions around Marvin Gaye's sexual orientation. "I cannot portray a role that I do not understand," he stated bluntly. Howard said that it did not feel right for him to take on something he could not relate to, and Maher concurred. Marvin Gaye was never verified throughout his lifetime. "He was the most charming MF you ever met," Jones told Vulture at the time. "He would F anything. Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye, James Baldwin, and he would F a mailbox." Terrence Howard's remarks, of course, caused a significant social media uproar. His opinions were deemed inappropriate and disrespectful by many. Some even claimed that due of the strange things he has said over the years, interview venues ought to stop highlighting him. This includes his assertions that 1 and 1 equals 2, his attempts to refute the Pythagorean theorem, his claims that he can defy gravity, his denial of the existence of zero, and even his claim that he can recall his birth date. The problem is that he has been discussing how he was compelled to take actions that were improper, and he was banned after voicing those concerns. And Tyler Perry's example demonstrates this. The actor actually harmed, changed, and was retaliated against.
A filed lawsuit accuses Tyler Perry of sexting an actor on one of the filmmaker's shows. Actor Derek Dixon has sued Perry for $260 million.
On Friday, June 13th, the case was filed in Los Angeles. Derek Dixon claimed that when he was performing in Tyler Perry's television series, The Oval and Ruthless, in which he portrayed the character Dale, Perry had a dominating and improper connection with Dixon, according to court records acquired by People. According to Dixon, Perry first gave him acting parts and offered to produce his pilot, among other employment prospects. But when Dixon did not return Perry's love interest, things took a bad turn. Dixon claimed that after being rejected, Perry started to harass him, attack him, and eventually ruin his career.
Tyler Perry has been hit with a huge steal and like lawsuit from an actor by the name of Dick.
According to Matthew Boyd, Tyler Perry's attorney, the lawsuit was a setup, People reported. He claimed, "This is someone who approached Tyler Perry in order to conduct a scam. We think these untrue charges will not hold up, and Tyler will not be bullied." Dixon claims that Perry offered him a tiny role on Ruthless in November 2019. Dixon then said that Perry physically assaulted him at his house in January 2020. Perry reportedly gave him a regular spot on The Oval just 1 month later. Dixon claimed that when he initially read the character's script, he saw that the conclusion left his character's future unclear. The lawsuit claims that Perry threatened to write off his character if he did not comply with Perry's advances or did not reply to his flirtations. Additionally, Dixon's character Dale was shot 4 times in the chest by the end of his first season. Dixon asserted that Perry was using this as a means of control, suggesting that Dale's survival hinged on Perry's satisfaction. Dixon said that in December 2020, he saw a doctor who determined that his persistent harassment and assault were the source of his severe stress symptoms, which included gastrointestinal problems, insomnia, and abnormally low cortisol levels. Zoloft, a drug used to treat depression and anxiety, was later prescribed to him. Perry allegedly asked Dixon to return to his house in June 2021, stating that he wanted to talk about producing Dixon's pilot, Losing It, which he had previously expressed interest in.
Dixon says Perry's easily filtered him at Perry's Atlanta home in January of 2020.
Dixon said that he suffered from extreme sadness, anxiety, stomach discomfort, and persistent nausea over the 5 months after the alleged incidents. He subsequently received a PTSD diagnosis. He said that during this period, Perry's close associates, known as fixers in the complaint, tried to patch things up by giving him a raise to remain on the Oval. He said that as a result, he lost out on around $400,000 in possible income. Dixon is currently suing Perry for a number of grave accusations, seeking $260 million in damages and a jury trial. People now assume that Tyler's behavior is nothing new. Do you recall Christian Keyes coming forward in 2023 and claiming to be a billionaire? Now, we can all count on one hand the number of billionaires in this sector. However, some thought it had to do with Tyler Perry.
$3,000 in my bank account. Who they gonna believe? Right? I got that $3,000.
Several online detectives surmised that Christian Keyes was referring to Tyler Perry, even though he did not identify his alleged abuser. Actor and author Christian Keyes, whose book Ladies' Night was adapted for the BT Plus series All the Queen's Men, spoke out against suspected harassment in a December 2023 Instagram Live. He specifically mentioned a powerful Hollywood male he claimed was pestering him. Several online detectives surmised that Keyes was referring to Perry, even though he did not identify his alleged abuser, in addition to producing All the Queen's Men. Actor Derek A. Dixon and Christian Keys' stories are extremely similar, and both men continued working with the abuser. Both victims never called the police nor filed a police report, one ex-user wrote. Remember, Christian Keys made this video about Tyler Perry, allegedly, last year? I remember a blind item saying he was paid off, but more people will come forward about TP. I guess where there's smoke, there is fire, another said. The same story Derek Dixon is sharing of his alleged assault from Tyler Perry is the same story Christian Keys shared about a Black Hollywood giant that he's worked $255 before he was bullied into deleting his videos from Instagram. Believe survivors for the first time. For years, rumors have circulated that Tyler Perry had a relationship with Joshua Soule, a former employee. When Perry obtained a restraining order against Soule in 2014, following a crazy event at his Atlanta studio in October 2013, things became serious. The whispers persisted even though the specifics were kept under wraps at the time. Perry claims that Soule broke in rather than simply showing up without permission. Ultimately, he was taken into custody and accused with criminal trespassing. Following that, Perry filed a lawsuit against him, requesting a restraining order, $100,000 for harassment, $25,000 for legal fees, and even counseling for Soule. This is where things become more messy though. There were rumors that Perry and Soule were romantically involved, and when Perry attempted to break things off, Soule refused to let it go. All of it was refuted by Soule's legal team. They claimed he was being wrongfully charged and that he did not break in or stalk Perry. Then suddenly Soule struck back. He sued Perry, Tyler Perry Studios, and a supervisor named Brett Hendricks for $10 million on May 13th. Soule claimed in the lawsuit that he experienced while working as a production assistant. Here's an intriguing twist now. Many others thought that an episode of the animated series The Boondocks, which aired long before all of this, was mocking Perry and alluded to this type of conduct. Despite Perry's denial, the episode was canceled and the rumors spread. Some feel Perry has been attempting to hide things by suing people, offering hush money, or simply remaining silent in the wake of all these litigation, rumors, and quiet removals. And as more information becomes available, individuals are beginning to make the connections that were overlooked for years. According to rumors, there is video footage from one of Diddy's wild parties that might bring Tyler Perry into the center of this developing controversy. Tyler has been behaving composed, perhaps in the hopes that things will end quickly. However, it appears that Perry may not be able to get out of this one so easily now that Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, is essentially indicating that some major dirt is about to come out.
But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bruh. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation?
What more will these tapes reveal, you must wonder? Upbeat music. As Diddy seeks to extricate himself, may Tyler, the alleged handler, be about to be put under the bus. It is hardly startling if Hollywood is beginning to ignore Tyler Perry. His name continues coming up in some really dubious discussions. Let us face it, there has been controversy along Perry's path. There have been rumors that Perry's ego might have caused him to argue, even with powerful people like Oprah. In the highly competitive realm of Hollywood, overcoming obstacles frequently entails coming across dubious strategies, and it seems that this reality is nothing new to Tyler Perry.
You know, and when I'm hearing all this noise, man, it was crazy because there were no black people on television. Before diversity became a thing, Tyler Perry was the only one out there for a long time.
One prominent voice that has attacked Tyler Perry for using stereotype characters in his work is renowned filmmaker Spike Lee. This worry over Perry's artistic decisions has been publicly addressed by Lee, who is well known for taking a strong stand on social and cultural problems.
I still think that a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of...
Cat Williams does not hold back, as we all know. Additionally, he is essentially a one-man truth serum when it comes to Hollywood's elite. Over the years, Cat has made a number of bombshell statements about Tyler Perry, asserting that the empire Perry created was not merely the result of hard work and genius, it had a cost. Cat's outbursts were dismissed as insane chatter, ranging from backstage power struggles to inquiries about Perry's alleged treatment of black men behind the scenes. Cat might not have been insane after all, given the litigation, the NDAs, and the abrupt quiet of those who used to work closely with Tyler. Perhaps he was simply ahead of schedule.
I'm proud to me that you could be a famous entertainer, make billions and billions of dollars, but the one thing you can't do
Terrence Howard, on the other hand, has his own run-ins with Hollywood and has declined to participate in the game. Terrance has reaffirmed his earlier assertions regarding the industry's toxic masculinity switch. To be clear, he is not criticizing the morality of anyone, but he is pointing out that some powerful men are allegedly pressuring or manipulating others into precarious circumstances in the sake of control, favor, or success. Diddy was one of the individuals he mentioned when he made that statement. More quietly though, he made references to the producers and directors who have a great deal of power in Black Hollywood. Do you recognize this?
I just said Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking.
This has nothing to do with discrediting Tyler Perry. It is about, at last, challenging the structure he has supported and figuring out how much it actually costs to succeed in Black Hollywood. Terrance and Kat were not merely venting. That much is certain. They were alerting us. It is all coming to light now. That concludes today. I will see you in the upcoming video. Goodbye until then.